Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a data analyst. This data analyst, it took them 1,000 applications to get a single interview. And now, after they used my method, they got about 1 interview per 25 applications. So let's see what their new, much improved resume is and why it works. So for a data analyst, and I want to let everybody know, I do more than tech right now. I do every single type, but tech right now is in the toilet, so most of the resumes sent to me are tech. It's data analyst and software engineer, so like 70% of it. What we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, how to influence stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have is cloud and AI. So we're going to show you all why this is a successful resume. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. Same with hiring managers. If it takes longer than that, we cannot move forward. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Good. Use data to solve an IT problem. Power BI, perfect. And SQL, dashboards, and helping leader, perfect. Influencing non-technical stakeholders across multiple names by training the technical requirements, simple narratives, perfect. Manage multiple projects while resolving business issues during high-pressure periods, ensuring deadlines were met. Deploy automated data pipelines, ETL, cloud slide to spot delay issues. Okay, good. So, this is why this works. Is they have almost everything I need here, and they have it in qualification format. Now, there are tweaks we can do, and I'm going to be very critical on this because, you know, they submitted it and I want to make sure they get the help they need. But this does pass. This passes, but I'm going to be extra harsh on it to show what's missing. So, what's good? They show me the actual qualifications and not the keywords. Keywords are these things. They're what the hiring team needs. A qualification is one of these plus how you used it, plus the business reasons of you using it, plus where you've used it. If it's not those 4, it does not count as a qualification. So they mostly have that. Now we're going to tweak this a little bit, and I'm going to tell them how to make it even better than a 1 in 25. So first things first, formatting is almost perfect. This is the formatting you want to use. It's on my website. This is how you do it. The link is in the description below. What you need to do is there should not be this big of a gap between those. If you notice, this starts almost immediately. So don't have this big of a gap again, but that's a very minor issue. But that's about the only formatting error I think I can actually find. So good job. Second is used data. You know, I don't know if you even need to say used data. I think you can just say solved our IT consulting problems using Power BI, Excel, perfect, and SQL by building dashboards that help leadership make data-driven business decisions. So that's really good. Let's see. I would probably, what do I want to change? I would say IT consulting problems by using data visualization, parentheses Power BI, and then the rest of the sentence is the same. So what do we have? We need 75% of these to move forward. I already have all of this up here. Perfection. Influence non-technical stakeholders across multiple names, perfect, by translating complex technical insights into simple narratives which improved recommendations for a deployment team. I want you to go a little bit more. What is improved? Why was it important that you improved recommendations for the deployment team? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Manage multiple projects while resolving business issues during high-pressure periods, ensuring all deadlines are met. This is not bad. I actually think you can add this to another sentence. In fact, I would recommend you adding this to another sentence. By itself, it's not enough. I just want a little bit more. Deployed an automated data pipeline that performed ETL using Python, good, and cloud technologies, such as, was it AWS? Was it GCP? I don't know. You didn't tell me. So you can say cloud. In fact, you could just say that performed ETL using Python and whatever the cloud is with AI support. which identified related issues to finding technicalities improving service delivery. So again, I'd rather you shrink this a little bit, and this might be the case if you combine these two sentences, where it's deployed a data pipeline that performed ETL using Python and X with AI support while managing multiple projects, resolving business issues, and ensuring all deadlines are met. So I think that's something you could do. And then took criticism from project experts. This is not needed. This is only needed if you were an intern. I don't think you really need this one. So the things that I am missing are... Actually, I'd prefer you to tell me a little bit more about the product that you're working on. The industry is missing, and Word is missing. Other than that, it's great. So just do those minor changes, and you should see even better. Because I'm looking at this. Again, this is the same sentence as this one. And while it's good to show the same sentence, you don't want to look like you're copy-pasting the same one. So I would slightly rework this sentence a little bit, the second one, because this is basically the same thing copy-pasted. Same with this. You don't want to copy-paste it. So... let's see. In fact, this is also copy pasted. This is kind of my problem. These are both copy pasted, and I'm not sure why that's there. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but these should not be the exact same. You do have to rewrite them a little bit. And this also means I need a little bit more context into this, because that is going to be an issue. But otherwise, this is a good job. So this is what gets them a 1 in 25. If they make these changes, they might be able to get a 1 in 15, although probably by the time they make them, they've already got a job, because that's usually what happens. So that's all I can do for this resume. I want to thank y'all for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I wanted to thank my members who get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. If anybody wants to join, they can join in the link below, which also has a lot of other stuff for job seekers. I really recommend reading the description of this video. There's a lot of support that y'all can get there. But thank you very much for my members. And before we go to the next one, if anybody ever needs any more help, they can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and YouTube. And that's where I help people and I get these keywords. So I will see you all in the next resume, which is right now. This is a resume of a help desk IT support. So what we need for help desk IT support is Mac OS, Linux, Android, Windows, education, customer service, troubleshooting, problem solving, network, DNS, DHCP, TCP, VPN, multitasking, and meet deadlines, industry, Jira, my Office 365, Active Directory, and a bonus for CompTI. So that is what we need. This person stated, you've already approved my last resume, and I'm trying to add a couple of other stuff, like the CompTI. What do you think about adding volunteer work? The answer is, if you do not have that experience anywhere else, yes. Otherwise, volunteer work is barely above projects in order of importance. This was the other template that somebody recommended to them. They wanted your feedback on this template. I mean, if it's not my template, I'm probably going to give you bad feedback. It's not like you can't have another good template. There are multiple ways to solve a problem, but there's a reason I have my template the way it is. It's easier to read than almost anything else. They said going back to my other template after this. So 20 seconds on the clock. I'm expecting the formatting to be off, but the bullet points to be good. Which, let's face it, that's the most important thing, is the bullet points. And go. Okay, CompTI. Oh, in progress. Delivered IT help desk support by troubleshooting hardware, software, and network. Perfect. Diagnose and resolve technical issue across Windows, Android, and enterprise platforms using root cause, persistent reliability, and repeat incidents. Okay. Handle support requests, deadlines, maintaining accurate document customer service. Man, I love these. Manage user Active Directory, secure and efficient systems, installed, upgraded, and time. Yeah, this is good. Like I said, I'd prefer you to fix your formatting, right? Like, remember, you don't want this right here. I hate saying this. This needs to actually be bolded. So, again, it should look like this. But this is not the worst formatting ever. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, this is garbage. You're always going to get rejected because of it. But you would probably get one interview per, like, let's say 10 normally, and this formatting will get you one interview per 11 or 12. So it's not a huge difference, but it can make a little bit of difference. The second thing is, if you graduated more than 3 years ago, I don't need to know how old you are. So you just need to put status graduated. And again, fix your formatting. The second thing is, these are really fantastic bullet points. I think my only complaint is probably these should be combined, or this and this should be combined, but otherwise these are really good. I mean, I don't actually have any notes. These are fantastic bullet points. Two out of 2 so far. I hope the next one is good. Maybe we have all good resumes this episode. But yeah, again, so does this work? Yeah, absolutely. Does the formatting hurt? Yes. Does the formatting hurt by a ton? No, but again, I'm trying to be as picky as possible to help you all get interviews. So, good job. Bullet points are fantastic. I really, beyond that one note of combining those, I don't think there's anything else I can say. And the only other thing is, I would be concerned about you putting this up because it's in progress and you haven't completed the exam. I don't know how valuable they would consider that. This is a very niche part of the industry, but I would imagine it's not worth it. Although I guess you could say completing the exam in May, which we're very closing in on, so it might not matter by the time. But so yeah, but otherwise, solid resume. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So for a full stack software engineer, what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. If you do not have that in the first bullet point, you are probably going to get rejected. React or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL or NoSQL, MongoDB, RESTful API, REST API, any of the clouds, CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for all that other good stuff. So this person has a 1 in 75 ratio, so I'm expecting this to be bad but not terrible, right? Like a 1 in 75 is like a D plus in that you are very close to passing but not passing. So let's see what it is, what makes it, and then I will read the note they said. So 20 seconds on the clock. And let's find out. And go. Built and cheap full stack using JavaScript, TypeScript, React, Node.js, and RESTful API. Good for startups, credit funding platform in a serverless environment. This is a little too technical. Led the creation of unit tests, canary tests using Dagger. This is mostly not relevant. Used Python. Good and not really as relevant. For AWS. Good. CD pipelines, interchange, deploy. And time. So the formatting is bad. Some of the bullet points are good and they're really too technical, and part of my problem is this is really good for mobile dev. These are the kind of things that I would want for mobile dev, not really for non-mobile. So if you're going for mobile, I like this, but the rest of this is not needed besides the Java. So let me read what they wrote. The 75 number is outdated. I have yet to see the results of this version of my resume since I have barely found your channel. No worries. Hopefully I'm sticking the right guidelines you laid out. Before I was targeting referrals directly from engineers at Fang, thinking my name brand experience would get me places. Nope. But now I'm setting for grinding out applications. Will honestly take anything. Maybe when the market turns around, I'll shoot for Quant again or Fang adjacent companies. So again, this is not a terrible resume. I just need a little bit more. I think your first sentence is good, but I'd like to know, like, why you did it, right? Also, your formatting is terrible. Like, this is how you should look. This is a mess of numbers that I cannot read anything. This is very, very difficult to read, which you don't want. So, like, built and shipped, full stack using, blah, 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 good. Startup credit, but, like, why did you do that? Why did you build a startup credit funding platform in a serverless? What was the point of that? I don't know. And then again, this one, good for mobile, not good for non-mobile. And then used Python good and Boto 3 SDK, which is software development kit, which again, extra credit, not really what I'm looking for. To automate AWS good, supporting pipelines. This one is mostly good. It's just you have too many a little bit of hot dogs here. which, oh, wow, I didn't even go over. This is the third one. So, imagine that you're hungry, right? And you go to a restaurant and you're like, I would like a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. And they say cheeseburger, pickles, onions. You say cheeseburger, pickles, onions. So they go back and they bring you a hot dog with cheese and pickles and onions on it. And you say, hey, excuse me, I think there's been a mistake. I wanted a hamburger. This is a hot dog. They look at you in the eye and they say, no, this is what you wanted. A hamburger has meat just like a a hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog has cheese just like a cheeseburger. A hot dog has buns, ketchup, mustard, and pickles and onions just like a cheeseburger. Thus, this is what you wanted. And you would look at them like they're crazy and you would walk out. And that's my problem with this is this is adjacent to what I want, and again, not really needed unless I'm going mobile. Boto SDK is a hot dog. People probably don't know what that is. Implemented SSR, hot dog with Next.js, good for optimized performance across distributed, but the problem is, again, I need 3 keywords per bullet point, and this only has 1. Participated in on-call rotations. Again, this is not a bad sentence, but it can be combined with another one because the important part is that you were resolving incidents for customers and you could speak to them. Collaborated with cross-functional marketing managers. Again, need more. Only one good thing here. Integrated ML. It's okay. So, like, you start off with a very good sentence, and then the rest of this is just a bunch of hot dogs. So I'm going to need you to basically either combine or get rid of, like, these 4 sentences. Because there's just not a lot that I need. You fill it with too many hot dogs, and that's going to hurt your chances. So, again, not the worst resume, but if you fix the formatting, you fix these bullet points, and you make them smaller, right, not as crazy, you will get more interviews because it looks like you have solid experience, but, like, it's too technical, and when it's too technical, people are not going to be able to find what they need in the 20 seconds, and the managers are going to get confused, and they're not going to move you forward. I also do like the 0 to 1, and I think the 0 to 1 should probably be in your second bullet point instead of this one. Something with that. So you really got to condense it, because right now this giant wall of text is like a needle in a haystack, and the tech market is too bad. You're not going to get, they're not going to spend the time to find what they need. Next resume. This is a data analyst. So for a data analyst, we already know what we need. This is their 3rd time submitting, so I'm going to be incredibly picky on them. Even if this passes, I'm going to be omega picky because it is their 3rd time. So for a data analyst, we already know what we need. I have 20 seconds to find it. Yeah, let's start. Let's see. We don't know their ratio with the new one. And go. Okay, formatting slightly off, but not much. Business analytics, search. Okay. Used Python and Excel, good to extract performance data from CalJobs, presenting insights via PowerPoint to non-technical stakeholders. Government funding requirements. This is good. A little wordy, but good. Use SQL and data visualization to query and analyze data workflows. Swimming transitions to compliance, a little data, deployed ETL in Python. Okay, it's not bad. I like this, but it's a little off. Also, there's something slightly off about your formatting. I'm not sure if your font is too big or something, but maybe it's just where you were. I feel like mine is a little smaller. Should be 10.5. But anyway, the formatting issues is there should be no gap here. There should be no gap here. There should be a gap here. All right, and then there's no gap here, no gap here. Then that there should be a small gap here. So blue needs to be a gap. The black is no gap. So that's a slight issue you have with your formatting. And then on to the actual bullet points is I like them. I just think they're a little wordy. Like, I like use Python and Excel to extract performance data from CalJobs. But, like, do I care so much about the performance data? Couldn't we just say used Python and Excel, VLOOKUP, pivot tables, to present in CalJobs insights via PowerPoint to non-technical stakeholders to, let's see, support compliance to support government compliance and funding, and then while reducing the risk of funding loss and continued program eligibility. I want you to slightly slim it down. And then that is good, though. Like I said, we have SQL, we have Python. I should probably remove R. We have deadlines I saw later on. Then use SQL, good. And data visualization, good. Tableau, right? Boom, got it. To query and analyze contract and compliance data. Here's the thing. I don't think I actually need the query part. To analyze contract data, contract and compliance data, to deliver monthly reports that supported analysts in tracking contract status, ensuring, delivering monthly reports to ensure timely compliance and reducing the risk of missed deadlines. Again, there's a little bit too many hot dogs in here. Then what are we missing? We have this, we have ETL, we have Word, that's good. Deployed a cloud-based ETL pipeline using Python and AWS. I would put maybe like parentheses S3 because, again, they're not really looking for the extras here as much. They're really just looking for AWS with AI to support and extract CalJobs data while managing multiple projects, resolving contract compliance issues. While managing multiple projects and ensuring all federal deadlines are met. So that's how I want you to read it. There's just some slight tweaks in all of those. Now, is there anything we're missing? And I think that might be influencing stakeholders. I don't think I see anything that implies that you influence them, which is something I need. I do see that you explained complex topics to non-technical stakeholders, which is good. I think I'm missing the actual influence part. And I do see how you solved a problem. So again, I would like you to show influence. I need you to fix the minor corrections here, and I need you to shrink some of these bullet points just a little bit to make them tighter, because right now it's just quite a lot. And then again, down here, there should not be a gap here. There should not be a big gap there. There should not be a gap here or here or here. But the rest of this is good, because I want them to go down here and to read more. It's just they're not going to get the chance because it's so wordy and the formatting is almost perfect, but not. So overall, good job. It's just your third time, so I'm being omega picky. Next resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer. So what we need for an AI engineer is AI, LLM, NLP, Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Cloud, any of them, NumPy, Pi, R, MATLAB, SDLC, CI/CD, DevOps, one of these, so like RAG, ML, LangChain, Skibbity, Learn, Pandas, Agentic, because there's a lot of AI stuff, so you kind of gotta want to pick one of those, and that you can explain stuff to non-technical people. If you're also applying to startups, they would prefer you have the number of users if it's impressive. That's a specific startup thing. So 20 seconds is on the clock. This person says they have a 1 in 75 ratio, so it's not the greatest, but not the worst. I wonder how accurate that is, but yeah, good for them if that's the case, especially because they said they needed international. Let me see. Is there needed anything else here? All right, and go. Okay, reduce document lookup time by 4 teams by engineering a high throughput ETL into a vendor's RAG. Okay, accelerated new engineers by building an internal LLM-powered assistant using AutoGen. That's actually really good. Reduce Jira overhead by MCP. Okay, Python. It's not bad. Reduce repeat queries, pipeline slide. Okay. You almost have good sentences. I actually like a majority of these sentences. The problem I have with this is that you ruin it by putting all of this irrelevant numbers. Look, the amount of users is a relevant number. That is something that you do want. 4 teams is a relevant number, but 90%, nobody cares. 300K documentation, nobody cares. This number, irrelevant. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. If you fixed your formatting and you just removed most of these numbers and gave me a little bit more of the context for this. Also, I think this should probably be 4 bullet points maximum. So I would probably move these up to one of these. That is what I want. Because, like, this is really, 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 really hard to read. Remember, we have 20 seconds. Also, you're an international, so it's going to be extra tough. So fix your formatting. My goodness, fix your formatting. And I want you to get away from these random numbers, because unless it's the scale of what you did with the number of users, which, again, startups do like, the numbers don't matter. Reduced operational costs by 70%. Cool. I've never seen a single job description that says you need to reduce operational costs by 70% to get an interview. Or if you don't reduce unexpected manufacturing downtime by 30%, we will not move forward. You are actually making it worse on yourself by including these random percentages and numbers. Because, like, I like this sentence. Which one was it? I like this sentence, the third one. I actually think that's really good. Is reduce Jira task overhead for engineers by designing tool schemas and MCP servers, architecture in Python, enabling natural language interaction with Jira through Cloud Code and GitHub. Like, I actually kind of like that. It tells me the AI stuff. It tells me you used Python. It tells me that you've used some of the most common tools and you've done architecture of the servers. That's a good bullet point. The problem is people have to dig through all of this to actually get to it. And it's so incredibly dense. Like, to use the metaphor again of the food, it's like you wanted a cheeseburger, right? And they gave you a cheeseburger. The problem is they took an entire gallon of ketchup and they just dumped it on that cheeseburger. And it's like, yeah, you want some of the ketchup, but the fact is there's so much ketchup, I can't taste what I actually want. So I like this sentence. I just need you to write these in more simple terms. I need you to have a little bit more of these, and I need you to simplify it just a smidge and make it easy to read, because this is part of the reason you're having issues. It's so dense. I can't actually get to the stuff that I wanted, but how you wrote these bullet points is good, and I want people to take notes. It just not the money, not the number part. If you just remove the numbers, right? You need to do it in a simple way. Just remember, we have 20 seconds to find it, and all these percentages and 250 growth and potatoes and all this stuff. It just makes it so much harder to read. Make it look like this, and you will have a better chance. But the actual core of this resume is good. It's just hard to get to it. So that's all I can do for this episode, and all I can do for this resume. So thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I appreciate it. If you are a member of mine, thank you very much for supporting me. My members get access to my videos a little bit early. You can join to be a member in the link below, but thank you very much for supporting me. I'm a small channel, and your membership really does mean a lot to me. But that's all, and if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on both YouTube and twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and I will see you in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.